The team had everything at its disposal. On a particular day, we needed an image of a garbage dump to illustrate dirty environment. The team called the artist, graphic artist. They drew, but the picture they came up with did not represent what we needed. And so what did we do? We told the organizers what we needed, that we needed actual picture. And what was done? A driver was made available, a bus was made available, and 2 photographers were made available to roam around the city of Lagos looking for perfect environment to take the picture. Now imagine the time it took. Imagine the cost. With your AI, this can be done in minutes. Then the question we ask is, if at the end of the day, I came up with a perfect image, it could be artistic, it could be photorealistic, and I come about it within minutes rather than days. This is where AI comes, helping me to extend my imagination, helping me to do the work of an artist, and helping me to do it faster and better than the way I could have done. And so AI actually helps us to extend our imagination. So AI is the brush. We are actually the artist. It is not the one that does the work, we do the work. I have a picture here I would have loved to illustrate it, and this is part of what we have been expecting. A classroom is just an imagination. A classroom within Gombe that should be powered by solar, and students will be doing coding under mango trees. What I came up with is what I call fantastic envision. When you see it, you will think it's real, but it is not. It is just an imagination. And so what we are saying is that while you are the artist, your AI is just the brush. And together you can paint the future, especially you, the youth. The next thing that many of us who might have been using AI will likely complain about is that AI doesn't give me what I want. If I ask this question, it tells me something else. We still go back to the issue. AI is not God. AI does not think. The imagination belongs to you. You are the artist. AI is just your brush. So the brush will not do the painting by itself. You hold the brush to do the painting. And so it has to do with how we communicate with the AI. And that reminds me of a story that can illustrate the way we communicate with AI and how AI gives us what it often gives us. It's talked about a house help who was sent to go and buy bread, and the bread was 1,800 naira. On getting to the market, the chap did not see bread worth a loaf of bread of 1,008, but saw bread of 900 naira. He did not use his initiative. He came back home because the instruction is, I need a loaf of bread for 1,800. And the madam told him, you should have used your initiative. You should have bought 2 loaves at 900. That will give us 1,800. Instruction noted. Next time, the same young man was sent to the market to go and buy shoes, size 40 shoes. On getting to the market, he got size 40, but he could get size 10. Using his creativity and imagination and based on instruction, he came back with 4 size 10 shoes. As he followed the instruction, he has followed the instruction. Who is to be blamed? Of course, the person who gives the instruction. And that exactly is what AI is. The instruction we give to AI is known as prompt. So a prompt is your instruction to the AI, and the better you make your instruction, which is the prompt, the better the AI can do what you ask it to do. Today, I will just give you one little clue, what we call the RICE framework, R-I-C-E, RICE framework, which is what we call recipe for effective AI communication. And in my usual style, I'm going to give you assignments. Our dear daddies and mommies, sorry, the assignment may not concern you, but for the children, it's mandatory. When you are writing instruction or your prompt, for example, I want a story, so I can just say, write a story. AI will write the story. But for me to get the AI to do what I want it to do, you follow what we call the RICE framework. R stands for role. Are you noting that? You give the AI a role to perform. Assume you are a graphic artist. Assume the role of a photographer. Assume the role of a pencil drawer. Whatever role, based on what you want to come up with, you give it a role so that from the vast data it has, it will only fetch information that is restricted towards the role you have given it. Next is instruction. You now give it instruction that is very, very clear and straightforward. In this case, I want it to draw. What is it to draw? Or I want it to tell a story. What story is it to tell? Tell a story about a boy who went on adventure and eventually found the hidden gold. Of course, I've given that strict instruction. Then the next will be condition. Condition now will be boundaries that the AI will not need to go over. For example, let the language be suitable to 10-year-old. Let me just tell you a story. I learned that from my 9-year-old daughter. I wouldn't know where she got the idea, but I'm sure it's from cartoon. She just came to me one day and asked, Daddy, what will happen if a dog eats chocolate? I said, I don't know. She laughed at me that, Daddy, you don't know anything. Later on, I picked through my phone. I saw the chat between her and ChatGPT. She asked, what will happen if a dog eats chocolate? Come and see technical jargons. Then the next response, I am 9 years old, I cannot understand. And come and see the next response, suitable. Then there are still sometimes, I don't understand this. Please, I am 9 years old. So I learned, when you are giving condition, tell it the boundary. You might even say, let it be suitable to university. Let it be the language that 3-year-old Nigerian will understand. You provide the condition. Then the E is example. Here you want to show it what pattern it should follow. For example, you may, let's assume that I want you to write, I'm not talking about writing now, in the manner of Shakespeare. And that's okay. Use Shakespeare language in the pattern of Shakespeare. Of course, the generative AI has been fed with a lot of data from Shakespeare. It will do that. Or the format of Harry Potter, a very great child novelist. So whatever you want it to be, you follow this 4 framework. RICE. Role, instruction, conditions, and example. In this way, your AI will understand what you mean, not just what you type. That is one good way of communicating with your AI. Another thing when it comes to the usage of AI is we have this divide. Should we use AI or we should not use AI. AI is good, AI is bad. We will summarize it this way by saying, just like every other technology, there will always be that initial apathy, initial fear. The problem oftentimes is not with technology, but with how technology is used. And so when it comes to AI, the problem is not with AI, but with how AI is used. And well, I'd love to use this illustration to project, but unfortunately no opportunity for that. But we can talk about the knife. The knife is a wonderful tool in the kitchen. Without the knife, the kitchen gadgets, equipment not complete. However, that same knife in the hands of a bad person is going to be a very dangerous weapon. The same knife useful in the kitchen becomes dangerous in the hands of a criminal person. And that is also what we have out there in the field. We can have dangerous information out. If you will permit me, let me turn my laptop for those who may see it. There's a beautiful picture there, and I want you to see if you can see it, how real it is. Can we see those three men there? For those who can see it, President of US, President of France, and the middle person, who is that? That is my image inserted by AI. It looks so real, and the truth is, I don't even know where Gombe Airport is not to talk about discussing with the President of US and President of France. But of course, if it is out there, I can make claims, or somebody can make claims that it has been, that Adepoju had been with the President of US and the President of France, which is not true. And so what we want to put in mind is the need for ethics and responsibility, ethical and responsible usage of AI. And this now will entail that we all become what I regard as digital detectives. In the use of AI, we all want to become digital detectives. One, verify before you share. For example, if you see that image, will you just share it or will you verify? You need to question, cross-check, and pause before you share. And we have what I call the SSD shield. We are looking at responsible usage, ethical usage, and protecting ourselves from information that we may get from AI. The SSD shield simply refers to these three acronyms: S for source, the next S for sense, and the third from blender. What do we mean by that? When you get any information generated by AI of whatsoever, ask yourself, where did it come from? Did it come from a verifiable source? For example, if you see this picture I just showed on Facebook, who posted it? Is the source credible? But if you find that picture on NTA or any media that is trustworthy, most likely Adepoju had been with the President of US and France. Hence, the image you've seen is fake. Then the next S is sense. Does it make sense in your context? Would it have been possible that Adepoju had been with these two great men without news carrying it, only one Facebook account just posting it? Does it make sense? It would definitely not make sense. The whole Nigeria would definitely shout about it. Does it sound too dramatic? Does it sound too urgent? Does it sound too perfect? If it does, then it is not true. And the last one, the B, is the blender. You now ask, could this have been cooked up by AI? Take another look at it. Run a quick search. Ask for a second to see whether this is right or not. And of course, there will always be some clue. So what we are saying is, make this SSD your daily armor so that you can always protect yourself. Don't stop questioning any information you see. And let's go to the next one for want of time, so that we'll be very fast about it. The future of youth and AI. I want to start by saying this. What we tell professionals, we are also going to be telling you, young ones. We always tell professionals that AI will not replace any professional. AI will not replace teachers, will not replace engineers, will not replace artists, programmers, and name it. But professionals who embrace AI will replace those who refuse to embrace AI. That is for sure. And youth who refuse to learn AI now will take over, will replace, will relegate the youth who, the youth who have embraced AI now will definitely relegate those who refuse to use AI. And one other thing we also will let you know is that when it comes with the use of AI, with respect to creativity, with respect to science, literature, culture, whatever sphere of life, take note of one thing. The only limitation is your imagination. If you can think it, AI can help you to attain it. And so AI will not take over the creativity from you. AI will not take over your thinking from you. AI will help you to co-create that which you can think of, that which you have thought of in your brain. And quite a number of our youth have been doing wonderful things with AI. I would have loved to mention a lot of them, but I want to really mention this because they are already here. They are young ones. They came up with a fine idea. Permit me to recognize them. The two of them are already here. They are my technical crew. I did not employ them, they employed themselves. They came up with this idea of what they call campus-based chatbot, which is to be a digital assistant to make learning, research, and communication easier for everyone. But it is not rocket science they are doing. All they want to do is something that is born from the heart of Gombe State University, to train it with local data and tune it to respond to local needs. What do they have in mind? They intend to feed the chatbot with data such as projects, past question papers, course outlines, materials generated from lecturers, lecture notes, recommended reading lists, departmental handbooks, faculty directories, library catalogs, even guidelines for writing thesis and references and past projects. After doing this, the chatbot will understand the structure of the institution, the language of the teachers, and the realities of the students. You can already see youth coming up with ideas. And at the end of it all, when completed, it becomes homegrown AI assignment that will be able to do far more than just answer random questions. It becomes a living, breathing academic companion. For example, a student might ask, what topics should I study for Edu 303? And it will give you answer because it already knows the pattern of the lecturer based on the data fed into it. A student may ask, can I get last year Edu 101 exam question? It will fetch it. Can you predict the question the lecturer may likely bring about this year? If it has data of the lecturer past question for the past 10 years, and it knows that this is the pattern of the lecturer, this is what we do ourselves, but the AI cannot help you to do it. It now predicts. Of course, also has implication that the lecturer too may have to be on his toes to make sure that you are doing the right thing. Because if I can predict your question, AI can do it and do it better and faster. In fact, it can even answer questions such as, where is the departmental office and what time is the HOD available? Because the HOD is always available by 9 o'clock based on the handbook, and so it can always tell you, in which office can I see Professor Adepoju? It will tell you because these are all the data. My time? No problem. 5 minutes? That's too much. Thank you so much. And of course, there's still another project which is also talking about youth coming up with ideas. This is still in the process of ideation, and with their permission, I will be mentioning it. They call it Savannah's Whisper, Imagine Future. What they have in mind is to talk about a digital elder, blending science and story. All that matters is they feed the AI with local proverbs, which is the wisdom of the elders. And so what it does is it has a lot of data concerning farming, concerning agriculture, the local environment. And so a farmer may just ask, my groundnuts are failing and the rains are unreliable. What should I plant this year? Then the AI will check the data available. We'll study the rainfall pattern for the past 50 years, which is the data they will have fed into it. And the data, the AI will come up with something like, rains will come up early, but end soon. And then we'll now make a quotation from the elders that will be applicable. As your elder says, when the acacia blooms early, the rains will be short. And this will help the user to understand what to plant and back it up with local proverbs. As it were, young ones, our youth, this 5th festival is really celebrating our creativity, co-pilot, co-creating with artificial intelligence. We expect and hope that at the end of the interactions, we will have been able to see wonders, things that you will come up with, assisted with AI. And when it comes to the possibilities of AI, we are saying once again, the only limitation is your imagination. AI will not replace you, but as we always say, it will replace those who refuse to learn how to use it. So, please be curious, be creative, be responsible. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's give him a round of applause. This was an extremely rich lecture, and one of the take-homes that I will never forget is AI is the brush, you are the artist. So AI bends to your will. We don't bend to AI. Remember that. So thank you very much for that inspiring
Okay,
lecture.
Oluwasanumi.
This is very, very
Okay,
rich
Oluwasanumi.
and enlightening.